Right now at noon, emergency personnel respond to a construction accident turned fatal in Cherokee County.
And it is breezy outside. It is also chilly out there as well. And we have freeze warnings tonight. We'll look at all that in that forecast coming up.
Plus, medical students at KCU Joplin get hands-on training with revolutionary new AI equipment.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Emergency personnel responded to a fatal construction accident yesterday in Cherokee County. This is KOAM News at noon. I'm Elise Snowy. The incident happened around 10:56 yesterday morning involving an excavator and a semi-truck. The excavator was unloading material from the semi when a piece slipped, falling off the opposite side of the trailer and hitting the driver of the semi. Authorities list the victim as a 50-year-old male.
Had hauled the material here for was unloading it. He was out, he was just the driver of the semi. So the company was unloading the semi and some of the material shifted and caused it to fall off the opposite side of where they were unloading it, where he was standing, and smashed him.
Now, this is a developing story, and we'll have more details available on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com, when they become available. Now let's check in with Chris Warner for a look at the forecast.
Yeah, the winds have definitely begun to pick up out there. We're going to start first with MoDOT camera, 20th and range line in Joplin. Now, of course, unless it's ultra windy or these cameras are zoomed in, the traffic signal poles are pretty steady where these are fastened. But now we'll head over to Pittsburgh, our camera in downtown Pittsburgh, and take a look at the wind shaking that thing there. And it is because, well, it's breezy. Northeast winds, again, they're gusting upwards of 30 miles an hour. On top of that, we have freeze advisories across the entire area, or sorry, freeze warnings rather, across the entire area. These will go into effect overnight tonight and continue into early tomorrow morning, as we're expecting temperatures drop down below freezing in many cases. Yesterday started the day below normal. We also made it to a high of only 68, so just a few degrees below normal, above the record low, but we're going to be getting close to that tonight across a good portion of the area. We may even break some record lows out there, which is just crazy because not 3 days ago we were breaking record highs. Now we're looking to break record lows potentially. We're at 59 in Joplin, 58 in Pittsburgh. So again, up in our northern counties and on the eastern edges, we're still a little cooler. This is where highs are probably going to top out into the upper 50s today. But the rest of us starting to warm up and a little closer to normal down in the far southern portions of our area, upper 60s and some low 70s. So on average, this is where we're looking to fall back through. We're going to be down to the mid 40s by late tonight. We'll hold on to the clear skies and eventually the winds will begin to diminish as we head into the overnight hours as well, which will be good because otherwise we'll have some uncomfortable wind chills to deal with. We're going to talk about how long this cool weather lasts and about the warm-up on the way here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right. Thanks, Chris. Well, the Maple Leaf Festival in Carthage, Missouri has become a beloved fall tradition over the past 58 years. Featuring music, food, crafts, and its famous parade, the festival has developed many important traditions since it began. KOAM Samantha Walker sat down with organizers to learn more about the history of the parade.
The year 1966 was quite different from today. Lyndon B. Johnson was president, and a tank of gas cost roughly 30 cents. But one thing that has stayed the same is the Maple Leaf Festival in Carthage.
In 1966, it started with the Carthage High School marching band competition. And there was a lot of movers and shakers that came together and thought that let's get together and have a parade. And so the following year, they organized what you see now.
While the traditional parade and marching band competitions still take place each year, the festival has grown greatly. Now popular activities include vendors, a lip-syncing competition, and this year, a Renaissance fair. For the Carthage Chamber of Commerce, it's important to honor the traditions that make the Maple Leaf Festival special, all while introducing new activities.
It means a lot, I think, not only to us, but to the community as well, to carry on those traditions. And we're happy to do it and keep doing it and reinventing the wheel and trying out new things and hoping that those things that we do now carry on those same traditions 50 years from now.
And as the city's famous maple leaves begin to change color in fall, it's a sign that it's time for another year of tradition.
Our maple trees are just absolutely beautiful when they're changing. I think with the freeze warning that's coming and the cooler temperatures, hopefully we'll see some of those trees starting to turn color by Saturday, but we're at the hands of Mother Nature on that.
Reporting in Carthage, Samantha Walker, KOAM News.
You can find a full schedule for the Maple Leaf Festival on our website. That's KOAMnewsnow.com. KCU Joplin looks to revolutionize medical education with a new AI-guided training curriculum. Now, the training is geared towards the use of ultrasounds for patient care. The university says students will be well prepared to capture high-quality scans and apply these critical skills from day one. In turn, patients benefit from more accurate diagnoses and improved bedside care.
So it really is a game changer for us. We have a large medical school. We're the 5th largest medical school in the United States. I'm just one professor. It'd be very difficult for me to teach 400 students without AI. But with this, I can give them the basics, and then they literally can learn themselves.
Dr. Arndt says the university is the first in the U.S. to use AI in this type of training. Greenbush in Girard, Kansas hosted a career exploration for students today. 8th and 10th grade students from 4 area school districts were able to participate in hands-on career exploration and real-world learning experiences. The city of Baxter Springs, Kansas held a ribbon-cutting ceremony to celebrate the completion of a large-scale mural yesterday. The mural, which takes a look at the history of Baxter Springs, covers the entire 100 by 12-foot wall of the Waterworks plant building across from the Baxter Springs High School. Now, the artists behind the mural, father and son team, AJ and Jordan Wood, were selected for the job back in April. City leaders say they hope this serves as the first of many murals for Baxter Springs. Well, if you saw some older military vehicles on the road in southeast Kansas yesterday, your eyes weren't deceiving you. The historic military convoy is making its way through the area. The group spent time at the Miners Hall Museum in Franklin and the Crawford County Historical Museum in Pittsburgh.
Something that a lot of people don't really understand, what the contribution was of all of the military vehicles over the years that have moved supplies, equipment, personnel for the armies all over the world.
If you didn't catch them yesterday, they'll be at Big Brutus starting at 3 p.m. today. Well, one of the world's largest restored steam locomotives spent the night in Coffeyville, Kansas. The Union Pacific number 4014, also known as Big Boy, is crisscrossing 23 states on the Heartland of America tour, which celebrates 150 years since the beginning of the Union Pacific Railroad. It will stop tonight at Kansas City's Union Station. Well, coming up, with polls showing the 2 major presidential candidates are virtually tied 3 weeks before Election Day, Harris and Trump set their sights on the swing states. And later, we're making butternut squash fritters in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. With the latest polls showing the 2 major candidates virtually tied 3 weeks before Election Day, both Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump are campaigning heavily today in battleground states. Natalie Brandt reports.
Voters waited in line in the battleground state of Georgia Tuesday as early voting got underway.
This is a very important election.
We're really a critical state in that election, so I feel honored to be voting.
Former President Donald Trump, who still faces charges of election interference in the state from 2020, plans to rally there tonight.
Everything that we have done in the last 6 years has been for the voters, so that they have results that they can trust.
With the latest CBS poll showing a neck-and-neck race, the presidential candidate spent Monday in Pennsylvania, the battleground with the most electoral votes at stake.
It's good to be back in Pennsylvania.
We win Pennsylvania. We win this great Commonwealth. We are going to win the whole ballgame.
Both Vice President Kamala Harris and Trump addressed voter concerns about the economy.
We're going to drill, baby drill. We're going to have so much energy. And we're going to bring prices down.
Under our plan, we will lower the cost on everything from healthcare to groceries.
They also both questioned each other's fitness for the job.
She is not a smart woman, that's true.
Donald Trump is increasingly unstable and unhinged.
This week, the Trump campaign is working to make inroads with suburban voters, particularly women, while Harris, campaigning in Michigan today, will continue to try to boost turnout among black men. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Washington.
Well, still to come on KOAM News at noon, Mr. Food.
Hey, Howard, what did one squash say to the other squash?
Sally, I have no idea.
You're looking very gorgeous.
Stick around and we'll show you how to turn these into a special tasty treat.
But first, we are tracking cool temperatures so far, and then it'll start to warm up. We'll take a look at your forecast when we come back. Welcome back to the KOAM News at noon. So it is sunny. It looks warm. It's not really warm. And on top of that, it's breezy. And you can see that with our camera in downtown Pittsburgh. Every so often, those gusts catching that camera, shaking it around a bit down there. So we got that to contend with. But outside of that, the skies are clear across most of the area. Now, we do have the freeze warnings in place across the entire area. Now, bear in mind, there are 5 separate National Weather Service offices that cover our zone here. So that said, I'm just going to narrow it down. These go into effect late tonight and run through early tomorrow morning. And the key here is that overnight tonight, temperatures will drop to or below freezing across virtually the entire area. So if you have any vegetation outside or plants that are sensitive to the cold, bring them in, cover them up, whatever you need to do. And if you have pets that are typically outside, you might want to consider bringing them in or making sure at least they've got a warm place to go. Because here's the concern with pets is a little bit of shock to their systems. We discussed before the break, 3 days ago, we were setting record highs. And tonight, we could potentially set record lows. Think of it if you were out there in that kind of weather. It could be a shock to your system. So just make sure you're taking care of your pets, yourself, and your plants. All right, future track heading into the afternoon. We are still going to be breezy. The winds will let up much later this evening. So until then, it's going to be blustery. And as the sun goes down, right now we don't have any major wind chills, but once the sun drops, we might start seeing some wind chills fall back a little bit on us before the winds begin to ease up overnight tonight. Here we are at 5 o'clock tomorrow morning. We've got 30s across the board, most of us in the low 30s. We could even see a couple of upper 20-degree readings out there. So with that cold start for our Wednesday, that does mean it's going to take a moment to warm back up. So kind of like today, maybe a little cooler actually by noon. We're going to be looking at right around the mid-50s for most of us across the area. Then we head into Wednesday evening, and we'll eventually start to reach our highs. And in that zone, we could be a degree or two warmer than we are today. Wednesday night into Thursday, we're going to be cold again, but we're not looking to be nearly as cold as we will be tonight, but still upper 30s, low 40s. We're really starting to settle into some fall-like weather out there. It is short-lived, though. But it'll be longer lived than what we've seen as we're starting to inch a little closer to more seasonable temperatures. Thursday by noon, a very similar story, but by the afternoon, early evening, temperatures much warmer with a southerly breeze out there, bringing us into the 60s and even a couple of low 70s, which puts us, as you saw in the almanac, about where we should be for this time of year. Sitting at 59 in Joplin, so again, no significant wind chill concerns at this point, but later this evening, that could be a problem. Winds northeast at 21, gusting to 33. So again, it looks like a beautiful day, but that wind is really whipping. Same over in Pittsburgh, 57, no major wind chill. Winds a little lighter, gusts up to 23 out there. And then across the entire area from northeast, where the coolest winds are blowing in, down to the southwest, we've got low mid 50s, and we get into the upper 50s, low 60s, and we've got a lower 70 down in Jay. So on average, we're looking at highs in the low 60s today, but some of you, especially in our northern counties, probably only make the upper 50s. Those of you a little further south and west may make the upper 60s, as we saw in Jay, even some low 70s. Otherwise, we'll have mostly clear skies. Just a couple of stray clouds could be possible out there today. Into tonight, clear skies, cold again, down into the low 30s, and we have those freeze warnings in place. Heading into tomorrow, still below normal by about 10 degrees, and we'll go about low mid 60s. Winds are expected to be considerably calmer for our Wednesday. Then we go down the road, so we're back near normal on Thursday and Friday. A little below on Thursday, a little above on Friday. Got the Maple Leaf Parade this Saturday. It's going to be a cool start. upper 40s, low 50s. And then we'll go into the upper 70s, near 80 on Sunday. Rain chances Monday. As we head into next work week, we're back to the low 80s. That still is better than seeing the 90s like we saw just a few days ago, but it is going to warm back up.
All righty. Thanks, Chris. We'll stick around. We're making butternut squash fritters in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. We'll be right back. Howard's making butternut squash fritters in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
The next time you go to the market, take a few extra minutes and check out all the different types of squash. If you're like most people, you sort of just walk by them since you're not really sure what they are or what the heck to do with them. So let me share a couple of my favorites. These here are acorn squash. They get their name since they're shaped like an acorn. After we cut them in half and remove the seeds, we can roast them with a little butter, salt, and pepper, and are they ever tasty? Now, these big things are butternut squash. Again, these and the acorn squash are both gourds. After cutting them in half and removing the seeds, they're ready to be roasted, boiled, or mashed. But today, we're going to turn these into fritters. After peeling and grating them, we mix them with some chopped onion, an egg, a little flour, and salt and pepper. Then we carefully spoon these into some hot oil until they're crispy and golden. Who would think those strange-looking squash could be so darn good? Maybe drizzle on a little syrup to make them extra tasty. The recipe for our butternut squash fritters is online now, along with a bunch of our other favorite squash recipes. I'm Howard with Kelly in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a gorgeous way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
You can find the recipe on KOAMnewsnow.com. Now, here's a look at the 4-state market prices.
Cool and breezy today, freeze warnings tonight, so do keep that in mind as we fall to near or below freezing. Cool tomorrow, less breezy, warming up toward the weekend, maybe some rain chances on Monday.
Certainly a lot going on there.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Chris. And Dow, what do you have for us later on?
Well, lots coming up at 5. For starters, as Florida residents recover from Hurricanes Milton and Helene, experts say the damage will likely worsen the home insurance crisis in the state, could lead to higher rates nationwide. We're going to look at how these climate-driven events could affect your pocketbook. Plus, voters in Allen County will have the chance to weigh in on a countywide sales tax increase in November's election. And Ronald McDonald House Charities of the 4 states celebrates 50 years. Hope you join us for those stories, a lot more. It's coming up on KOAM News at 5.
Absolutely. Thank you, Dow. And that's the news for now. Thank you for joining us. Have a great rest of your day.